guys, Ron here, and a couple of years ago I released 2 videos in which I gave Pokemon teams to various celebrities, and there was no reason for me to stop because those videos did very well. I'm a complete idiot for taking this long to make part 3, so I decided to stream the creation of this video a few months ago, so a ton of you guys helped me come up with all the Pokemon that these famous people would have if they lived in the Pokemon world. Of course, the celebrities are a mixture of living people who have been famous for a long time, and those who are new to the scene but super relevant over the last year or two. Of course, there are 1,000 Pokemon to choose from, and only 6 slots per trainer, so forgive me for not including a few Pokemon that may be obvious to you. Keep in mind that we tried our best to not give any repeating Pokemon to celebrities in the same categories, like giving Meloetta to 2 different singers. I also don't want to hear, "Where's Beyonce?" or any other celebrity who was in the previous videos, so make sure to check out part 1 and 2 if you missed it. If you can, try to follow me on Twitter or here to know when I will be streaming the creation of part 4, but that's only happening if you like and share this video, so your move. We started this series with the previous US president, so let's begin this video with the current one, Joe Biden. Because for some reason I like to start my videos off with the most controversial people. I always give the presidents a mandatory breviary. They're given one upon inauguration as protection. Honestly, Drampa, the calm dragon grandpa, is really perfect for old Sleepy Joe. It was pretty much unanimous in my chat. Kind of the same reason Komala is a must. Slowking is a laid-back leader as well, so I'm sure Biden would enjoy his company as much as he would Vanillux. Joe is known for his love of ice cream. The donkey is the Democrat Party mascot, so an evolved Mudbray in the form of a slow yet sturdy Mudsdale has been with Biden since the beginning. I love to imagine Baby Joe with a Mudbray and Vanillite. Pretty solid team. Very natural looking. 3 normal types are appropriate too. Obviously 6 slots is the limit, but other potential Pokemon would have been the sleepy and creepy Hypno, Old Guard Golurk, and Revavroom, since apparently Biden's a car enthusiast, but many people are. Let's move on to our least controversial celebrity and begin our cinema portion of the video. Pedro Pascal is the most acclaimed actor of the last year, so he deserves a party to celebrate. For The Last of Us, Pedro is followed by an infected Pokemon, Parasect. For his role as the Red Viper in Game of Thrones, Oberyn would have had a sand snake like Sandaconda. This snake is literally a gun as well, so it would make sense for Pedro's DEA agent character in Narcos, because we're kind of saving Intellion for our next actor. Sirfetch'd and his Onion Lance is another Game of Thrones reference, with the green force-wielding alien that is Elgium perfectly representing Grogu, or Baby Yoda, from The Mandalorian. Pedro's always guiding children on a journey for some reason. The helmet and weapon-wielding Marowak is a pretty fine Mandalorian reference as well, and along with its ground typing, it still ties into the desert theme of Pedro's many characters, like Agent Whiskey and his electric lasso, perfectly represented by Galvantula's Electro Web. Just realize that Elgium is even deeper than we think, since its evolved form, Behem, is also based on a secret agent, like Pascal's characters in Narcos and Kingsman, and since Area Zero is also in the middle of the desert, Elgium is honestly the perfect Pedro Pascal Pokemon. The brutal Ponyard, Seviper, the Chilean Scovillain, Electros, and like I said, Intellion would have been good picks too. Tom Cruise has been an A-list star for decades, and say what you want about the man, but his movies are incredibly iconic. On the right, King Gambit is a Last Samurai illusion. Dragapult, the stealth bomber, is great as a Top Gun reference. The most famous Scientologist would have a Deoxys. Intellion is a clear Mission Impossible reference. As the most famous actor to do his own stunts, Halucha is a must. And Tom's iconic Les Grossman from Tropic Thunder deserves a fickle Tapu Koko, literally named Tropic Thunder. Latias the Invisible Jet, Golisopod the Samurai, Behem or Clefable the aliens, the risky businessy Scrafty, Exploud, and Hisuian Zoroark for Edge of Tomorrow would have all been great too. Zendaya has been the talk of the town for years. It's time to give this beautiful talent an equally talented and beautiful team. From the bottom left, we got Oricorio for Shake It Up, and Dancing with the Stars too. Zoroark for Casey Undercover on Disney Channel as well. Hisuian Lilligant for Greatest Showman, and once again, dancing in general. Girl Can Dance. Chat demanded I give her a Corviknight for her unforgettable Met Gala chainmail dress. The Sandworm Earthworm for Dune, and the inebriated Spinda for Rue from Euphoria. Although Shiinotic would have been fine too. We really couldn't find a Pokemon that perfectly represented the drugs Rue was abusing. But Zendaya's BF and fellow high-profile celebrity Tom Holland is next. From the bottom left, we got, I think the best Pokemon to represent Spider-Man, Spidops. Delphox for his role in Pixar's Onward. Chat-Tot is over there because the man can't keep his mouth shut, always leaking spoilers. Mr. Rhyme is perfect for the dude's dancing and acting skills. After all, Mr. Mime is a tap-dancing Charlie Chaplin. Runerigus is a great reference to Uncharted, and a general superhero bug-based Pokemon like Ledion is It fits. Ariados and low kicks would have worked too. Cast form to reference his iconic umbrella lip sync battle. Gimme Ghoul for Nathan Drake as well. Zarude for swinging, and Unpheasant for Spies in Disguise would have worked. Jenna Ortega fever has swept the nation over the last year, so a more melancholic team is in order. Gothitelle on the left matches Wednesday Addams' aesthetic. The butler that is Ndidi also matches the aesthetic while representing Lurch. Barbarical is very much Thing, with Shiny Mimikyu being a slight nod to you, but again, simply matching the vibes, along with Bayonet, considering Jenna Ortega frequently acts in slasher films. Then there is Esper, which once again just fits. This is mostly a vibes team, since Jenna hasn't had as many iconic roles as, let's say, Tom Cruise. Diancie, Tsarina, and or Magirna would have been a good nod to her character in Elena of Avalor, while Absol would have been another Pokemon that matched the look of her team. Brendan Fraser, however, has had iconic roles and has earned his comeback, so let's reward him with a team. Starting from the left, we have Golurk to represent Robot Man from Doom Patrol, then Diggersby for Looney Tunes Back in Action, a film I saw at least 10 times as a child. Kafagrigus, I kind of forgot what is Kafagrigus here for. Just kidding. The Mummy. Zarude is George of the Jungle through and through, with Brute Bonnet representing the caveman Link from Encino Man, but also Journey to the Center of the Earth, which is one of the many inspirations for Area Zero and its paradox forms, specifically the past ones. And finally, Wailord, to represent his Academy Award-winning role in The Whale. Very well deserved. Marowak, Druddigan, Croconaw, and Primeape would have been good caveman Pokemon, while Greedent wouldn't be half bad as the Nutjob or even whale reference. Jack Black is finally in the series. Should have been here a long time ago. What an iconic human. It would be my pleasure to give him a team. We'll start on the right with the pitch black Pokemon Darkrai. It's a good representation of the metal concepts Tenacious D seems to be associated with, as well as Black's role in the Goosebumps films. One film, I don't know why I said films. Turtonator is the closest we have to a fire-breathing turtle like Bowser. Greedent is a chubby comedic fellow, while on the left side, we got Pangoro to represent Po from Kung Fu Panda. Toxtricity and Rillaboom to represent the rock duo of Tenacious D, School of Rock, as well as Brutal Legend. But then again, Rillaboom also represents Jumanji, King Kong, Tropic Thunder, and even the fact that Jack Black appeared in a Gorillaz music video. Now, Urshifu is a literal kung fu bear, Halucha would have been a great Nacho Libre reference, Sharpedo is Sharktail, and Snorlax is just another Jack Black type of Pokemon. But I think Jack has one of the best teams we've made so far. As an actor and musician, Jack Black is a perfect transition into our next category, musicians. Ed Sheeran goes first since he directly worked with Pokemon. That's why he has a Minior to represent his song in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Celestial. If you didn't know, all of Ed Sheeran's albums are named after mathematical symbols, so on the bottom left we have a Plusle, with Noivern above him, which blasts Ed's music. You could say that the obnoxious actions of Noivern can also represent his song, Bad Habits. But on the bottom we got Kricketune and Skeledirge, both ginger musicians in their own right, and finally Squirtle. It's simply Ed's favorite Pokemon. Mine and Xcloud would have worked too, while Ditto representing Shape of You almost made it. Now, the winner of the Grammys Album of the Year went to Harry Styles. As controversial as it was my personal favorite album of 2022 as well, so. Milotic on the right represents Adore You, music for a sushi restaurant, and Harry Styles' pretty boy aesthetic. Nosepass is always facing one direction, north, and instead of a singing Jigglypuff, we got Screamtail, cause it represents Jigglypuff as it was in the past. That was a pun if you didn't get it. On the right, we got a Pokemon that represents Harry's style. His supposed queer baiting has garnered him an ultra-flamboyant Quaquaval. It dances on stage. It's the same reason he has a male Gardevoir, especially after the whole dress situation. Bruxish matches the 70s sound of Harry's recent music. Now, Tatsugiri would have obviously been a good choice for music for a sushi restaurant, Noctowl for late night talking, and Musharna for daydreaming, one of my favorite songs, honestly. Then we got one of my favorite artists of all time, The Weeknd. On the right, we got Starmie for Starboy, Blacephalon, which literally blows up its head for I Can't Feel My Face, but since it's a fireworks, it also works for Blinding Lights. Luxray is In Your Eyes as well as Blinding Lights, but the ultimate Blinding Lights Pokemon is Necrozma. Grimmsnarl, which can learn Fake Tears, is for Heartless and Save Your Tears, but also matches the aesthetic of this team more than Bonsly. I mean, if The Weeknd was a type, it would be fairy dark, perhaps. Dusknoir totally matches the somber tone of Abel's lyrics, but it also represents In Your Eyes, Out of Time, Take My Breath, and most importantly, his last two albums, After Hours and Dawn FM, since this Grim Reaper Pokemon picks up radio waves from the underworld? Minior could have been a Starboy reference too. Torterra for the hills, Ampharos and Volbeat could also be Blinding Lights Pokemon, while Bonsly and Sobble are saving their tears. Claydol and Stakataka with their many eyes could have been here too. Adele is finally here. Definitely one of the GOATs. Primarina with her liquid voice is a given. Altaria is known in the Pokemon world for its melodic hums. We already gave Minior to Ed Sheeran, so Altaria can represent Skyfall as well. Meloetta is self-explanatory, and Volcanion sets fire to the rain. Spheal is rolling in the deep, and Lapras is another Pokemon known for its melodic voice. Honestly, there are multiple Adele songs with references to water in the title, so a heavily water-type team is all good. Donphan or Roly-Poly could have been good for rolling in the deep as well, while Minior and Bagon totally could have represented Skyfall. Joe Rogan is here. This comedian, host, and the most watched podcast host in history has got a pretty personalized team. The dude is synonymous with apes and is known to talk about their viciousness from time to time, so Annihilate is apt. There are a lot of fighting types here since the dude is an MMA commentator and enthusiast, but he also used to be a host for Fear Factor as well. So, a nice fighting type that loves working out, like Joe, is Buzzwole. The dude will bring on a bunch of weirdos who have conspiracy theories, for example, and he will dabble in the conversations about aliens, so Buzzwole makes even more sense. Throw is another bald fighter, Simisage repping his love of certain drugs and chimps. Another drug-adjacent fighter is Breloom. Now, Joe loves elk meat too, so the next best thing is Weirdeer. But Infernape, Incineroar, Heracross, and Hitmonlee are appropriate as well. Lionel Messi, regarded as one of the best football players of all time, led Argentina to win the 2022 FIFA World Cup, so I'd say he deserves a Pokemon or two. Victini on the bottom right is the source of his victory. Blaziken and Hitmonlee are some of the best kickers in the Pokemon universe. Dubwool literally has the patterns of a soccer ball and rolls like one too. Cinderace is the soccer Pokemon, and I'd assume that he'd choose Obstagoon to train with him since it's the perfect goalkeeper and master blocker. Now Electrode wouldn't have been a bad pick as a sentient ball, and considering the dude has been dubbed the Atomic Flea for his short but powerful stature and playstyle, Venonat wouldn't have been terrible since we don't have any actual flea Pokemon yet. Probably the most famous celebrity chef, at least with the current generation, is Gordon Ramsay. Gordon uses Scovillin anytime a man needs to put some spice in his dish. Dondozo is based on a sushi chef. Morpeko is a Pokemon that loves food and gets angry, so pretty similar to Gordon's persona. Garganacl gives him some salt, Alchemy provides the cream, and Arboliva humbly lets Gordon use his signature olive oil. There are a ton of food-based Pokemon and even chef Pokemon like Simisear that would be appropriate. Slurpuff, Appletun, Darkspun, Miltank, Farfetch'd, Veluza, and even some literal ovens and stoves like Rotom Heat and Centiscorch, but the dude can just use a normal stove and oven for that. RuPaul, the Queen of Drag, has been requested for years, so I'm gonna give it to you. From the left, Aromatisse strikes a pose. Masquerada and its masquerade magician flair is very much a drag queen aesthetic. Sarina is a literal queen, Quaquaval is the most fabulous Pokemon, Flordress literally looks like a drag queen, and Furfrou is as designer as a Pokemon can get. There are a ton more Pokemon that could have been here though. Jinx was a popular pick, Vespiquen, Nidoqueen, Pheromosa, Lilligant, Hatterene, Salazzle, and Sylveon were appropriate. Leavanny and Jellicent have a fashion theme going on. Male Gardevoir makes a lot of sense. Now Zoroark could transform, and Primarina is a very popular Pokemon among drag queens. Mr. Beast is the most popular YouTuber I can think of. Now Sceptile on the right is known for planting trees, a nice nod to Team Trees. Persian uses Payday, but is similar to the Mr. Beast logo as well. And the heroic Palafin is on Team C's. Golden Go is the ultimate moneymaker. Stakataka perfectly represents all the Mr. Beast videos in which people are confined in a small space, and Delibird delivers presents. Now Trevenant would seem fine for Team Trees, but it is a tree. It doesn't plant trees. Alolan Muck actually eats garbage and would be valuable on Team C's. Revavroom is one of the cars Jimmy gives away. Malamar is a pun on Squid Game, but I don't like giving people Pokemon solely based on puns. Blissey heals, just like Calyrex, and Raikou is the closest to the Mr. Beast logo, but I preferred a Pokemon that had two meanings like Persian. But if you enjoyed and want to see part 4, make sure to leave a like and check out the previous video in the series, or any other video of mine. Subscribe for more, and check the description for the t-shirts I made for you guys, the music I used, and the link to my Patreon where you can get cool rewards like seeing my videos days early, which you can also get by pressing the join button and becoming a member. I'll see you guys very soon.